Hi everyone, welcome to the Buffett and Beyond Saturday Stock Market Recap for November 30th, 2024, and this is coming out on Monday, December 2nd, because we didn't put this out on Saturday. So there you go, lying on the beach, just waiting for that sunshine to come along. And let's look at the market. Well, the market hit another new high as the S&P and Dow took top honors, but there's something in the charts that could mean something over the next few days, and we'll take a look below. Now remember, we didn't put out our letters on Saturday because we took that 4-day long weekend. Well, we did some research on the new 2025 portfolios, and we did some more work on our new upgraded website that we're coming out with, and more work on the new computer program. So that's what we were doing over the weekend, but we did get out and play a little bit. But meanwhile, back to the market, right down here, the car producers, right here, the car producers are begging that the incentives to buy EVs stay in place. Why? Because the auto manufacturers just can't sell all those electric vehicles they geared up to produce. Another very close instance of Big Brother telling us working folks what to buy and what not to buy. Of course, our cousins in California already have some kind of mandate on the books that the entire state go electric by a certain year, and I can't remember what year it is. But you all know my idea of slowing down the amount of air pollution. Yeah, it's simple. Stop having kids. But that requires Big Brother telling us what to do again. But it's a thought. After all, the population of the world has almost tripled since I was born, which means that's triple the amount of carbon dioxide being emitted into the air. And guess what? They keep burning those trees down in the rainforest down there in the Amazon jungle so they can make way to grow more cows and more meat for us to eat and to do more farming. So we have a little bit of a problem there. But of course we have a new Congress coming in a couple of weeks, and they'll figure it all out for us. Don't worry about it, folks. And let's look at the market, and here is the S&P 500, and we can see we finally broke through that 6,000 level and stayed there for the whole day. So this is a pretty good sign in here, and you can see we have this nice rally in here after a couple of days of decline a couple of weeks ago, and so we're just climbing up there, and it's going to depend on what's going to happen over the next couple of days. But remember, December, usually a good month, not a spectacular month like November usually is and was this past November also, but December seems to quiet down a little bit, and usually slightly toward the upside, but not as exciting as November. And then down here we can see that we have gone into the buy mode up here with this blue line crossing the red line, and this is the MACD, moving average convergence divergence, and we use that as a generally longer term, or we should say intermediate term signal that we get from the markets and this crossover over here. So you can see that we did have a sell signal in here, and then we all just generated a buy signal during last week. And we'll see what happens today. And let's go to this next chart. And this is just a 3-month chart, but we can see this is the S&P 500. We can see a higher high in here, like from here to here. And this indicator up here, short-term indicator, is giving us a lower high. Now, for it to give us a lower high, this market has to turn down today or tomorrow to give us this downward sloping line. Right now, this is not a point until it turns down, but the market has reached a higher high. And of course, down here, we can see the same crossover. In this case, it's the black line over the red line, which gives us a buy signal. But look at the volume last week. And yeah, I mean, who really was thinking about the market last week? Nobody. And we can see that the volume just kept falling off, and I'm surprised. And don't forget, Friday was a half a day where the market closed at 1 o'clock, and so the volume would be about half what the normal volume should be. And most of the people just didn't even go down on Wall Street. and they didn't even stay around and press their buttons. They just went shopping. And that's why we have I think it was this morning I saw the number of 3.4% more spending this past Friday, Black Friday, than we did a year ago. So we'll see what happens, folks. We want to see if we get this little selling divergence up here. We are overbought a little bit, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens, because we don't expect much to happen throughout the month of December, just because everybody's in a holiday season and their mind is not on the market except to sell a few stocks so they could buy some more things. And that's the way Christmas goes, folks, or the holidays. It's more than Christmas. So we have several groups in there having holidays and having feasts and having food. So, yeah, just don't worry about the market too much. But guess what? Yeah, in just a couple of weeks, we're coming out with our upgraded website. We're coming out with the new computer program. We're coming out in about 3 weeks with the 2025 portfolios. So we expect to have a good time right here in our office while we're drinking hot cocoa and coming up with new stocks. And let's go to the QQQs. You can see the QQQs did not make a new high. The Dow and the S&P did, but the QQQs did not. But we're getting this same kind of signal in here, and maybe we're going, is this going to be a higher high? Right now, as I'm recording this, the market is turning up, or at least the NASDAQ is turning up. And don't forget, the QQQs are the NASDAQ 100 stocks, and they pretty much run hand in hand, the NASDAQ and the QQQs I'm talking about. But we'll see what happens. We're getting the same kind of overbought little divergence to the downside, but still we're holding this 20-day moving average in here, folks. It's not like we're sitting around the 50-day moving average down here. We're sitting around the 20-day moving average, which is just a reversion to the mean. And you can see we bounced off it on Wednesday, and of course Thursday the market was closed, and then Friday it just started up and closed higher for the day, about 0.88%. So it was a nice little move, but we still have this little problem down here, and that's because the semiconductors and the tech stocks are being sold as the market participants are buying the other parts of the market that have not moved that much this year. So we'll see if the QQQs and the NASDAQ can sort of hold in here, and we hope it does, so we don't have to worry about it for the next couple of weeks. And of course, we do have our portfolio protection about 12 to 15% below the market, and we have the December 485 SPY puts. Remember, the SPYs are 1/10 of the SPX. SPX represents the S&P 500, and so we buy the SPY puts. This is for about $140,000 portfolio. And where do we get the money to spend on insurance? We like to sell a couple of cover calls during the year, just a few, just to get enough money to buy these puts. And some of you said, we had this discussion on Wednesday, and some people say, I don't want to pay for protection. I lose money on that insurance. And I just keep reminding them, you're going to lose money on your car insurance, you lose money on your house insurance, and down here in Florida with half the state almost underwater, we have to worry about flood insurance also. So, yeah, insurance costs money, but that's the cost of protection. And what we try to do during the year, and we've done it almost as long as I can remember. 2022 was a little tough. I think we lost money on the overall insurance part of it because the market dropped. It's 12 to 15% and kind of stayed there. The official count was down 19% for the year. But that's to be expected every now and then. But for the most part, we usually make a few bucks on the cover calls that we make, or chances when we see a buying situation. We might do a spread, a call spread or something like that, and we go from there. So we try to make up for the payment on this portfolio protection. So folks, here we are, December in South Florida, and yeah, that ice is that water is not frozen. It's not ice. It's not anything. It's nice and warm, is what it is. And so we want to visit our cousin sometime during December up north, and we'll see what happens if we can get a plane flight. Because boy, there's a lot of people traveling. They're setting records. But of course, what they keep telling you, the airlines keep setting records on the number of people that are flying. But there's more people in the United States and all over the world than there were 20 years ago and 30 and 40 years ago. So, of course, we're going to set more records with more people flying. So anyway, folks, no matter where you are, whether you're in Florida, whether you're in Alaska, or whether you live at the North Pole getting ready for your one night's work, you all take it easy. Don't worry about the market. It's going to be here tomorrow. It's going to be here next month. And it's going to be here next year. But our portfolios will be coming out in about 3 weeks. So you want to watch for that. So, folks, this is a special Monday report. And tomorrow is Tuesday. We'll get right into our daily letter. And we'll go from there. So, folks, you take it easy. Be safe. And we'll see you back here tomorrow.